recording. All right, welcome
Hello, your
everybody
names.
to the newest episode of the Knowing Basketball podcast. Today we're joined by a very special guest, Andrew Fenichel. If y'all don't know, he has like a pretty big YouTube channel surrounding the NBA and a little bit of the NFL. There's a lot of shorts content, and we're just really excited to have him here today.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Okay, so we're gonna go straight into it. The first topic we're gonna talk about is the in-season tournament. So just thoughts about it. I mean, LeBron versus Pacers in the finals of the NBA first inaugural NBA Cup was kind of iconic. You know, like being able to see LeBron in this newest age of the NBA being able to win this newest kind of award in a sense. I thought it was really cool, and this really just like establishes his legacy even more, right? Me personally, I think LeBron is the greatest player of all time over Jordan. I know a lot of people will hate me for that, but I feel like this really just bolsters up his resume even more. And to those that think LeBron's the GOAT, like this will help their case even more. To those who don't, they're just gonna think the in-season tournament isn't worth that much anyways. Yeah, what do you guys think?
I think that Haliburton had a really good like impression of himself in the IST. He performed really well throughout getting all the way to the finals. And because of that, I think everyone had a good view on him, and they're gonna have that same view on him throughout like the end of the season. So we might see Haliburton. We're gonna see Haliburton become an all-star, but we can also see him improve to a level that we might have not seen before.
So you guys all think the tournament matters for career legacy for a guy like LeBron?
For me
Yeah.
personally, right? I think I have because I know for like a big argument case for his like legacy, right? I know that many people like let's say who aren't LeBron fans, I think they're definitely not going to be like considering the in-season tournament because it's just so much like parity throughout like history, I guess. So me personally, I don't think it bolsters his like resume or like it bolsters his legacy case that much. But I think like even at its like most like face value, it just shows he's still a winner, right? Like it just adds on to something that he could like it can't hurt him at this point. I think that's like the thing that like is what it means for LeBron.
Because I'm a LeBron guy. Like I'm with you, man. Like I think LeBron's the GOAT, but I don't think this tournament affects his legacy whatsoever. Win or lose. Like he could have lost in the first round. Don't think it would have mattered. He could have won it. I still don't think it really matters because I made a video about this, but I sort of see the in-season tournament as like the Maui Invitational in college basketball, where it's part of the regular season. It's obviously not March Madness. Is it more similar to March Madness than a random, Big Ten game in the middle of January? Sure. But also at the end of the day, March Madness is March Madness for a reason. Same thing with the NBA. Like the NBA playoffs, full 7-game series, that's going to always matter more than this tournament in the first part of the season, pre-trade deadline, rosters aren't set, right? New players on new teams. I don't know. I just don't think this tournament really matters at all. But the one thing I will say is it is definitely similar to playoff basketball in the sense that rotations are shorter, guys did care more. So I think it proves to your point, man, yeah, LeBron still got it. LeBron is still one of the 5 guys in this league you'd want the most if you had to win one game or win one series. So we'll see how that affects the Lakers come June and, later into the playoffs. But for his legacy now, I don't really care. I don't think it matters that much.
I think the really interesting thing about it is that I think they were undefeated going into the finals, and obviously throughout the entire tournament they were undefeated. But since then they've been kind of falling off. I think part of that is because of D'Lo's struggles, but it's also been a little bit of injuries. But it's really weird to see. But this also shows that the Lakers, when they really need to hunker down and really care about the games they're playing, they're able to perform at that higher level. So I don't think we should be basing them off of their seed just yet.
I think
exactly.
Yeah, I think
go ahead.
As a bigger picture, I think just the in-season tournament, it wasn't really meant to bolster someone's legacy, but I think it was more meant for the fans, because I know fans have been complaining about the long stretch of the 82-game season, and so I think the whole purpose of the in-season tournament was just to add a new dimension, add new layers into it, just give it some new refreshing taste for the regular season. I think that did exactly that, which is I think something that the in-season tournament has been really good at doing.
It's that. It's also they have this new broadcast deal coming up, I think, after this season. and like money always talks, right? So basically the NBA is now going to go to Apple or go to Amazon and be like, hey, we'll give you these 12 games, and they'll just upsell it for some crazy price and make an extra few $100 million off this in-season tournament. So I think that's what Adam Silver really cares about. But I was also there. I was actually at the semifinals in Vegas. And look, like the NBA crushed it. I will say, like the whole Vegas atmosphere was great. They had like special food for each city that was playing in the semifinals. So there was like, it was funny. There was like a different hot dog based on the regions. They had like a Dodger dog for LA. They had like a southern kind of Louisiana type of dog for the Pelicans. So yeah, they had activations. They had the TNT crew with Charles Barkley, Shaq, Kenny, and like the ESPN guys like Stephen A. and Wilbon all kind of together on one broadcast. So yeah, I thought the NBA did a great job with it.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of like this being the first iteration of the IST makes it like very politically involved because, like you said, they have this broadcast deal coming up, but also the fact that they were playing in Vegas, like LeBron's trying to buy an NBA team that's like going to be Las Vegas based, testing out the market. You know, they're definitely doing a lot of business stuff on the side of it. Let's talk about the other side, like the loser of I guess it's not really a loser. Like they got second place, the Pacers. I know, like I don't think most of us were expecting them to come even out of their group, make it to the finals. Like that was very unexpected for everybody. I really think this shows that they are also like a playoff worthy team. I think they're doing pretty good in the regular season so far, but this also shows like when they need to hunker down, they can they can play at that higher level. Hallie cemented himself as an MVP case, and they also like beat the Bucks on the way to the finals. Like that's really impressive considering like how the Bucks are playing right now.
If anything, being there, it made me more worried about the Bucks than I was pro Pacers coming out of that game because like the Pacers' energy was electric. I mean, every single time Haliburton would do anything, the entire bench would go crazy. Truthfully, like going back to the March Madness thing, it felt like a college game where like you have all of, the freshmen that don't get minutes, trying to get hype on the bench, and right, you had like the student managers. It felt very like camaraderie based, which is great for the Pacers. And I think that's a testament to like Tyrese Haliburton and how much of a leader he already is in his, third or fourth year in the league. But the Bucks just felt like an old team that were kind of just, yeah, we're here, right? Dame's going to get his 30. Giannis tried to dominate. Middleton's still trying to figure it out. Brook Lopez is, still like, just doing his thing. Yeah, if anything, I was just like, it was an energy-driven result, right? The Pacers clearly cared more, which was also something we saw from the Lakers throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I think the Pacers came into the tournament with the motivation like, hey, we're going to be trying our best to win this tournament. The Bucks more were just like, this is a regular season game. We're gonna try to win it, right? Because like it kind of matters, but
right.
Also finding the chemistry between like Middleton, Dame, Giannis and Brook is a lot more important than winning these extra couple $100,000, which is kind of a crazy thing to say, but still.
Yeah,
exactly.
Question for Andrew, like, did you enjoy like what was like the atmosphere at like Las Vegas? Like did you like the courts? Did you like just how was it?
So it was crazy because I pull up and the first game was at 2:00 Pacific, which is very early, right? And that was the Bucks Pacers game. The stadium wasn't full, but my first reaction were like, these were the coolest courts I've ever seen because they, in addition to the bold coloring on the court, they also dimmed the crowd. And so like there was almost this spotlight on the court. And then I go and check Twitter and everyone's hating on the courts. And I'm like, guys, like, what are we doing here? Like, I'm in person. I'm seeing it live. This is great. So I would actually want to know what you guys saw of the courts, assuming you guys all watched it on TV. But
there were some ugly courts. Like I forgot which ones, but
sure.
The Indy one, I'm not sure like what it was kind of ugly. Like there were also some courts that were like dope. I think like the Raptors court was really nice, or
I think the Knicks court was really nice too.
Yeah.
The Knicks court was really good.
I think my biggest problem with it was that like the extra layer of paint that made it colory or whatever. Like some players were talking about slipping on it. It was like a little bit it felt
True.
different from the normal court. That's my only big thing with it. If they wanted to like make the courts like tie-dye colored, I wouldn't really care as long as
Yeah.
it looked like they still were able to play the same, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think for me, like you talked about the lighting, right? And I think it reminded me of, I think like,
The lights were brighter than we expected.
or no, it reminded me of, I think, like Staples Center, or if it's called like Crypto Arena right now, or whatever it's called, right?
Yeah, I think
like
they
how
have their
here.
dim, they have
Yeah,
their dim
like,
lights as
For
well.
Lakers home games, like they dim like the lights on the court, and I think that's like really cool. Like I
Same
think,
thing with the Nets arena.
oh yeah, like
Mm.
so I think it
And
like
then it's
like I think lights were like a big part of like just like what made the energy so important.
And I will say too, the fact that the Lakers were playing definitely gave the atmosphere a boost because it's so close from here in LA, right? And so there's so many Lakers fans that drove up. It's the same thing with Summer League. I don't know have any of you guys been to Summer League before?
No, but I know it's like held in Vegas and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's in Vegas every year. So that's how I was kind of comparing it because I've been to Summer League like 4 or 5 times now, and the Lakers dominate, right? I mean, because everyone just drives up, and the Lakers don't even need to have like a top lottery pick playing for them to just dominate the crowds every single year in Summer League. So, yeah, I think the NBA was very happy that the Lakers won that game against the Suns.
In a sense, they also have like even though Las Vegas is considered like a neutral site, they still kind of had a little bit of home court advantage.
Oh yeah,
having all those
oh
fans
yeah,
inside the audience. Yeah.
big time.
I think like just like after the in-season tournament, like you did say like the Lakers kind of like fell off a little bit, and so did the Pacers, if I'm not mistaken. Like they also lost their
Yep.
Lavine had like he went from averaging like 27 in November to like 20 in this month, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And like I
Yep.
don't know why. Like I think like obviously their offense, their like game plan was doomed to fail at some point, like doomed to falter a little bit, because their offense is kind of just like run as fast as possible, and their defense is to get back on offense as fast as possible. But I'm not sure like where they're going.
Specifically with the Pacers.
Yeah, Pacers. Yeah.
That's kind of
I
interesting.
also think
You would think them winning this tournament would, I guess they could be like tired-ish, but like to the extent that they've fallen off, I don't think it's that severe.
I guess.
I thought the energy would be able to like carry out a little bit. Yeah.
also just shooting luck. I mean, the way these teams shoot threes now, like you know, shooting variance is just such a big part of the equation. It's all like a math game. So for the Pacers, they obviously shoot a lot of threes. If they have a semi-cold stretch, that's just going to completely swing their outcome of games. So, yeah, I'm not too worried. But I also wasn't too high on them after the tournament either. I think, like you said, like, yeah, they're a 6 or a 7 seed. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next topic, which was like early season awards. Like, what do you guys want to start with?
We can start off with MVP.
Okay, yeah.
man.
Well, I'm a Sixers fan, so I feel like there's a pretty like not even just being biased, but there's a pretty clear number one in the race, and that's Joel Embiid, playing out of his mind, averaging even more points than last year, significantly boosted like assist numbers, defense. It's just like the difference between the Doc Rivers and Nick Nurse coaching schemes are like night and day. It's so much better, and especially like Nick Nurse has allowed Tyrese Maxey to blossom. And he has a case for MIP now, which we can talk about later. But I thought that was really cool.
I think from someone who has Jokic on their fantasy team, I don't think he's doing the best, but I think for Jokic, he's been in a slump for the past few days. I think
What do you mean? He had a perfect triple double last night.
no,
Okay, but outside
before last
yeah,
night,
Before that,
he was actually having around like 3 of 11 shooting efficiency. It wasn't even that good. But I think after yesterday, if Jokic continues with his performance, he could be a strong contender against Embiid. But I think those two will go back and forth. Like 1 month we'll see Embiid doing better, 1 month we'll see Jokic do better. So ultimately, it's just up to the fans to see who really they think.
Is there any chance anybody wins MVP outside of Jokic or Embiid this year?
Luka.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
They're not gonna give it
I'll be that guy. In fact, I would say right now I would have Luka. I'm with you. I think Embiid right now would be my number 1, but I think Luka is closer to Embiid than Jokic is to Luka. I don't know
Okay.
if that's a hot take.
Oh,
Yeah, we're from Dallas, so he's a Dallas fan. He's happy about that. Yeah.
Okay.
He's been
Like I assume you watch the Christmas game.
Yeah.
If that's not single-handedly dismantling an imposing franchise by Luka Doncic, like that's the definition of MVP. He was unstoppable, right? Like there's nothing else he could have done.
Yeah. Outside of that, I feel like obviously top four are gonna be Embiid, Jokic, Luka, Giannis. I think Shea definitely is like a contender. He's like there's probably zero chance he's gonna win it, but like he's up there. He's doing really good. Hallie is, even though he's fallen off, he's still kind of up there. And yeah, I mean, I think Ant is a strong contender just because the Wolves are so high in the rankings. Like their record is so good.
But I will say this: I think MVP, like especially with the last couple of seasons, right? Like it's able to swing so easily between like two people. I think last season between like Jokic and Embiid, it was like injuries. Like
it's literally just been Jokic and Embiid and Giannis for like the past 5 years.
If anyone like gets hurt for like two games, or if anyone has like a bad like a shooting slump, right? I think that immediately like swings the voters. Like the MVP is just so like there's too many variables right now, so like anything could happen. I think.
Do you guys think Ja Morant should be eligible for MVP?
Oh, so this comes into the 65 games rules.
Yeah.
I mean, we've only seen him for a couple of games, right?
He was out last night or something.
Yeah.
Again?
He was out last night.
Oh, okay.
But they're undefeated in the 3 games he's played.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
he's doing he hit like double game winners or like 1 game winner.
Yeah. His first game back was the game winner.
Yeah, so obviously he's doing like amazing, but like as soon as he comes back, he makes a big shot. He starts like doing gun signs and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like he's not going to be able to. I feel like he definitely should be eligible to still win it. I don't know if like obviously can't tell based off his performance, but I do think he should still be eligible. And if this was like some other player, some kind of similar situation where they had to miss extended periods of time, like I think they should still be able to win it if they miss for like a good reason. This 65 games like cutoff is a little bit too strict in my opinion.
Yeah.
If they were able to do it, like give a little bit of leeway with like suspensions, I understand like it has to be like a harsh punishment, but I think there should be a little bit of leeway for awards, but also with like illnesses, injuries. I don't know. I feel like this is just a little bit too high of a bar.
Yeah, because because I think like the 60 like the 65 game rule, it was mostly to like discourage like load management. It was like discourage like teams sitting their stars, right? And I think it becomes like an issue where it becomes like an argument if you could argue that okay, this guy wasn't like sitting out because he just didn't want to play when he was like tired, but he was like genuinely missing games because the NBA forced him to. And so I think that's where like the 65 game rule has like an argument is like what if this player does get injured for like an extended period of time, his team drops during that time period, and as soon as he comes back on, this team starts winning again. Like I think like it's just like it's really hard like there's honestly like there's 2 very good arguments for both sides.
I venture to say that speaking of the 65 rule, I think Kawhi can also be very high in the rankings this season, just because of his performances in the last few games. He's been putting up insane numbers, good efficiency, 6 to 7 assists per game, I think 7 to 8 rebounds per game.
30.
Yeah, he's been averaging near 30 points per game. And
elite defense.
And I think besides the last 3 games that he's missed, I think he went to every single game. So if he continues on this consistent rack, and I think he'll be back today as well. I think if the Clippers are playing, but if he keeps performing the way he's performing, I think we could also put him in the list with like and other candidates for just like potential MVP. They probably won't win it, but with their performances that they're going at, I think they also have a strong chance.
I like that in that second tier of kind of MVP guys.
Yeah, the second tier.
What I also don't get about the 65 game minimum, if it is specifically to get guys to play, is that voters already take that into consideration, right? Like last year, the reason Steph didn't make first team is because he only played, 55 games, but Shea played 70. So like even if it wasn't like a hard and fast rule, voters already cared about that. Same with Durant, same with Kawhi. Like these guys are already getting punished in postseason awards for not playing enough games. So now creating this like arbitrary 65 game thing that someone came up with, doesn't make any sense when it's going to affect someone like Ja, who, yeah, I think if he leads the Grizzlies to the playoffs, why wouldn't he be top 5 MVP?
Or at least
Yeah.
all NBA consideration.
Yeah.
Right. You're telling me he can't even get an all NBA vote?
Yeah, that's
No,
crazy.
yeah.
You're telling me like that's crazy, right? Like if he takes a 9-26 team and leads them to the playoffs, he can't get a single vote.
But I think to be fair, like you can't have like that soft like idea of voters aren't gonna consider my lack of games played, so I'm gonna play more games. I don't think that's as big of an incentive for players to play games as opposed to actually having for like guys like Kawhi or Paul George who are missing so many games all the time.
I think also part of it was I understand because we're using Ja as the example for the 65 game rule, right? But you also have to consider like why this was like he specifically got a 25 game punishment. Why not like a 15 game punishment and an extra big fine so he didn't make the money back? Like this was specifically to like make an example with these new rules, and Ja is just kind of like a 1 in a million case as opposed to what's going to be set as a precedent for future
Why they
people.
didn't do that with Miles Bridges.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on to like
Rookie of the year.
rookie of the year. I mean
I mean,
it's kind of sealed up.
Chet or Wemby, one of those. It could go either way, but my personal favorite is Chet, just because his teammates are helping him get the numbers he has. And I think we all saw with Wemby that his own teammates like Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sochan, none of them are really passing him the ball and letting him achieve to the potential he can get to. But I think even numbers wise, I think Chet's still putting up better numbers than Wemby done. I think something like way better efficiency as well. And
Wemby has a hype. I was really high on the Wemby train, but like at this point, I can't even deny it. Like Chet is playing so much better than he is. I understand like that he's not technically a rookie. He's in his second year, but you know, as the rules say, like he is considered a rookie, and right now he's running away with the race. Yeah, you can't really make that big of an argument against it.
My argument, I'll be the guy that defends Wemby. If you swap them, right, it's rookie of the year, not rookie with the best team who's also a first, right? It should be about the individual. And if you put Wemby on this Thunder team, he's better, and they're better.
I think still, yeah, I won't disagree with you that Wemby on the Thunder, like he will be definitely putting up better numbers. But I still think with like Chet's game is so much more polished, so much more efficient. I think if you put him in the Spurs situation, like even if you had swapped them, I think
Chet would still perform better than what Wemby.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, right? Because like right now, if you switch right now their teams are making their gap a lot bigger than it should be. Like it makes the gap seem so much bigger. But I still think Chet is above Wemby, but not by as much as it looks like right now.
Yeah. And I think I actually agree with you for that take. For me, like I think it goes either way. I can't I literally can't choose one or the other. But it's like the same thing for MVP, right? It's like you can't be like if your team is like too bad, you won't win the MVP. But if you're like surrounded by a super team, you also won't win the MVP. So it's like the same situation between these two guys. And
I'm also go ahead, finish your thought.
But yeah, like if you had to pick one, I think like if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with like Chet, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean Chet's been unreal. Like there's no taking away from Chet to like build up Wemby. I think I'm just always going to be slightly anti the second year guy who redshirts his first year. Ever since Blake Griffin stole Rookie of the Year from John Wall.
The Ben Simmons.
Right, the Ben Simmons Donovan Mitchell thing gets more publicity, but I think it first happened with Wall and Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
So
I think we're all gonna give some consideration to like Jaime and like Derrick Lively.
Yeah, definitely. They're both Derrick Lively. I mean, it's kind of. I would say like Derrick Lively he's definitely playing. Like if you just take his stats at face value, he's definitely like one of those top contenders. But the fact is that his play style matches so well with what the Mavs have already built. Right. So if you place him, like you said, if you place him in a different situation, he's not gonna be good. Right. For Jaime, yeah, I feel like Jaime definitely like if you take his stats at face value, they're legit, right? Because he's playing with the team that made the finals. Yeah, he dropped 30 on my Sixers on Christmas Day. I mean, I can't hate. I can't say anything.
here's a question: where would you guys take Jaime in a redraft? knowing that he's older, right? Knowing that all the variables, where would you take him now?
He played 4 years at UCLA. And
Oh,
that's why
Yep.
the Heat drafted him specifically because he had already spent. He was like a win now player. Yeah,
Right.
Would still be like Chen would be number 1 or 2.
yeah. I think like obviously all the teams at the top of the
Is
draft.
it too early to drop Stu?
No, I think he's still top 5. But like all the teams in the beginning of the draft, they're looking to rebuild, right? Like there's a
Yeah.
reason that they're that bad. They're looking to add new talent to bolster themselves. So I still think he would go in that mid tier level. Yeah. What pick was he? I don't.
18.
He was 18, a pick behind Hood Schifino with the Lakers, I
Yeah.
believe, who went 17. Like, let's say this. Like, I'll give you a specific example. If you're the Thunder, they took Cason Wallace at 10 or 11, somewhere in that range. Cason's been great too. Are you taking Jaime though over Cason?
Oh,
Low key, I think the best fit for Jaime would be the Rockets.
no, I think he is one of the best fits. Like the Miami Heat are one of the best.
Yeah, definitely the Heat are like an amazing fit, but like if judging based off how well he's playing, I think in a redraft he would go to the Rockets. Because right now the Rockets aren't necessarily concerned with like a young core.
What do they have?
I feel I don't know.
It's like 4 and 5 for a minute.
Yeah, right. Because like they're not exactly in that rebuilding phase. They're not exactly in contention phase. They're kind of like ramping up in between the two. So I think Jaime would fit their timeline a lot better than like.
So you're saying you take him at 4?
Were they the 4th?
I think they were.
Oh
Yes, Amen Thompson
that
went
high.
I
4th.
would take him at 4.
Maybe not.
I wouldn't either.
Okay, but like I'm saying, like it would have to be like a team similar to the Rockets situation, but around like that 10 to 15 range. Let me see what. Yeah, y'all share your thoughts.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if there's anything that's sure right now, it's that I think Asar would go over in a redraft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Agreed.
I think it's only really because
The situation.
because of Amen's injury.
That's fair.
I watched Amen get injured in like the summer league. Like I was watching that game as it happened. It was heartbreaking.
I think
Would Cam Whitmore go higher?
No, I don't think so.
Because he's been killing in the G League. If I'm not
He's been balling, dude. He had like
He's
40
but, like, he hasn't
few
gotten,
nights
like,
ago.
games.
Oh, you know what? I think Jaime could have gone to the Magic.
instead of
instead of the Michigan guy.
Yeah.
I
Right, because like the
No,
Magic
no,
right now
no.
are
The second
in-
guy.
Yeah.
I like Black. I think Black's pretty good. I was talking about their second lottery pick, Jet Howard.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
like Jaime goes over Jet Howard, right?
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Like that,
I
or
think-
Grady Dick. It's still so
Oh, yeah,
early to
definitely-
do any
yeah,
of this,
definitely, like-
but
Yeah, definitely Orlando Magic would make sense a lot. Yeah.
I think
I agree.
historically, like
I mean, like I'm a Magic fan, like, and I feel like they should have taken Jordan Hawkins over Jet Howard. Because if there's
You
anything
need a
that-
shooter.
it's 3-point shooting. They like they're so young and they have like the worst 3-point shooting in the league. It's so frustrating to
Yeah.
watch because it's just random power just out there in the mid range.
Yeah, I think definitely he could have been a solid pickup for the Hawks too.
I think Keontae George should be gone.
Keontae George, he's on the Jazz, right?
Yep.
I think like
Oh, he's
historically,
really talented for.
I think historically, four-year seniors, 4-year like college players, they historically have gone lower in the draft.
Right, because like the teams at the top of the draft are drafting for potential. They want like the Wembys, they want the Chets to be able to develop them into superstars. Teams like the Heat
Right.
have like a relatively high lottery pick, but literally just went to the finals. I don't know how they managed that, but they're looking for win now players, and that's why ultimately win players are the best.
If I was the Thunder, I wouldn't be looking to like draft someone like Hami, right? Like even though how good he is, like how good he's played, I still wouldn't draft him just because like what I need right now at the top of the draft isn't someone
He doesn't fit their timeline.
Yeah, like I'm not worried about win now players. I'm not worried for like second star in this situation.
Fair enough.
Yeah, totally fair.
You want to do
Yeah, let's move on to like some of the situations.
trade talks?
Yeah, trade talks. Yeah, let's talk about the Lavine situation then, right? Because, I mean,
The Bulls are doing so much better.
It's like 6 minutes a year.
Nah, it's yeah, but like the Bulls, I think I saw like a graphic after Lavine went down, like they won like I don't know if it was after Lavine went down, but like sometime recently they went 7 of their last.
Yeah,
10
that was
games.
after Lavine went
Yeah,
down.
like they're just playing better, I guess.
And now with Lonzo coming back, I think we can see the Bulls actually. Yeah, Lonzo, his knees.
No. He's gonna start like practicing in January.
Okay, well,
he's coming back next season.
He's coming back next season, but he's better.
Definitely on the timeline.
Once Lonzo does come back, or even before Lonzo comes back, I think the Bulls could at least reach the playoff stage. But I mean, with this Lavine situation, I think the two most probable locations for him is probably Knicks or Golden State, because we need at Golden State. Yeah, I mean, they do need offense, right?
But you're talking about most likely, not best fit.
Like what would Golden State be able to like trade for Lavine though?
Golden State. I was thinking.
They got plenty. I mean, they have the contracts to match, right?
Right.
If you want to do Chris Paul, if they want to reroute Draymond somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
Wiggins.
That's definitely a big. I could see like a three-team trade with like getting rid of Draymond, right? Because like at this point, Draymond's future in Golden State is very much up in the air, right? It's considering all the situations that have happened so far, it's going to be questionable.
I would actually say I think one thing that Draymond has like I think the reason why Warriors are so like they don't want to trade Draymond isn't because of like just like it's like raw value, right? But I think it's like how he appeals to like not just like that. I think it's how he appeals like the fans. I think like his loyalty to the team, just how he's been. I think like many people in Golden State really like Draymond, and I think it would like the front office I think knows that, and like they wouldn't like they're not like trying to trade Draymond because I think of that reason.
I think like Lavine specifically said he wanted to be traded to I don't know if it was the Knicks, maybe the Knicks, but also the Sixers, the Lakers, and he also expressed in Sacramento, right? As a Sixers fan, I don't really want him, right? Because what we need is, I mean, any team needs 3-point shooting and perimeter defense, but you know,
Sixers have that.
Yeah, we have a decent amount of that, but like I said, you can't get enough.
Yeah,
we already have enough offense between literally leading the league in scoring. We have got Maxey, we got Kelly Oubre. A lot of 3-point shooting. Like I don't think he's a good fit for the Sixers, which is why I'm seeing him go into probably the Lakers, right? I feel like the Lakers need a lot of everything right now.
Yeah, and they have like pieces to give up for it.
Yeah, I could definitely see him going to the Lakers.
I don't see it.
Oh,
I don't
really?
get it.
The Lakers?
Are we like, yeah, are they trading Austin Reaves?
Yeah, I think they saw.
I think yeah,
like D'Lo and
I think
Austin
like,
Reaves.
I think at this point, like Lakers.
I don't know.
So, right, one, is that really what the Bulls are looking for? And then two, if I'm the Lakers, do I really want to trade away Reaves, who clearly has great chemistry with the current team and is significantly cheaper than Zach Lavine? Like how much? I guess I'm saying like how much of an upgrade is Reaves to Lavine?
I guess
given that it costs $15 million and an extra player and a pick.
Right, this
Does
is
that make
kind of
sense?
the economics of the NBA, right? Because like if they were able to get good assets back, they could theoretically like trade with other teams to liquefy them into like draft picks or whatever. But also, I don't know what direction the Bulls are going in. Are they trying to contend? I'm pretty sure DeMar like expires after this season or next season or something like that. Are they still going to try to re-sign him and go to the playoffs? Or are they just going to blow everything up and go into rebuild mode? Like that definitely is going to be one of the big deciding factors of how they trade Lavine, how they work it out with him.
Like if I'm the Lakers, I'd rather get Jeremy Grant.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Similar contract, probably cost less. You know what I mean? Like D'Lo in a first. I don't really know what Jeremy Grant's trade value is, but
I saw Reaves get shopped around for some other player. I forgot exactly who it was. But like they were trying to package Reaves and one draft pick for some role player. I forgot. But definitely,
I'm also just a big Reaves guy. I like Reaves. I think he's good.
I like Reaves too, right?
I don't know why. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the Lakers fan base loves.
That's definitely true. Yeah.
That too. Right.
Let's talk about like the current state of the NBA. You know,
Pistons.
Yeah, the Pistons, like they're like the most consistent team in the NBA right now. Like they're making history.
We thought they were about to shock us last night, but they delivered again last night.
Bro.
Free Kate.
Yeah, definitely the Pistons are going to be one of the top contenders for draft picks this year. So
I think they've always gotten unlucky though in the lottery, right? I
Yeah.
feel like
Oh, yeah,
they've
they
always
dropped-
gone like the third.
they
pick
dropped to 5 last
or
year.
5, yeah.
Doesn't matter, they got Asar this year.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Sar was a good enough pick, yeah.
So what I find so interesting about the Pistons is like you're right, they haven't really like they didn't get Wemby, right? Or they didn't get, Paolo, right? They didn't get the lottery odds to fall for them that way. They did get the number 1 pick for Cade, and he was a better prospect than Paolo, for a lot of people. But what I find so interesting is I like all their players. Right? Like I like Jaden Ivey. He was actually pretty good last night too. I don't know how much of that like fourth
Yeah.
quarter and overtime you guys watched. Yeah, I huge Jalen Duren guy. Asar looks good, right? Like they have all these different pieces. I think in the context of the current team together, though, it just doesn't work. No one can shoot. I think Monty Williams has been a complete dumpster fire as a head coach, and I don't say that about a lot of people. It's just weird. It's like they've compiled good talent. It just doesn't work together.
Yeah.
Except for Killian Hayes.
Isn't Monty getting paid
Yeah.
like hella money each year? I think it was, I forgot what it was, but I think it was like 4 years, 84 million or something, right? I saw it-
Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's not
also
working.
I don't understand like the Bogdanovich like situation on like Pistons.
Yeah.
Why is
I
he
get-
there?
I think they're trying to like bolster up his numbers and trade him before the trade deadline. That's definitely a really good option. But yeah, who really knows what the Pistons are doing at this point? Yeah, let's talk about one team I did want to talk about is the Celtics. Because they're on top of the NBA right now, even after missing KP for extended periods of time. And even though they just like almost lost to the 2-28 Pistons last night, it's still like I'm scared. As an Eastern Conference contender, I'm scared of them, bro. Like I was watching them last night. Like the only thing that was really holding them back was just like being lazy.
Yeah.
But when they really play to their hardest, like there's not really any holes in their game. There's no flaws.
And we saw that with Jaylen Brown being out yesterday. We saw Tatum and KP both, but they combined for 66, I think. They both like came up on the stage, realized they needed to perform by themselves. And I think with Jaylen Brown, even though the load is divided more, I think each of them can contribute at least a 30-pointer if they're all in like perfect form and stuff like that.
They have so many second options.
like,
They have so many
yeah.
backup plans.
I think Celtics, one big part is their like defense. Like Derrick White, Drew Holiday, these are both like all defensive players. Like
Sorry.
like these guys, like I think like KP and like down the block, I think like all these guys are just like so good at defense too.
How would you guys rank Porzingis, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Derrick White from best to worst?
Oh.
In terms of what?
Yeah, like in terms of what, like how well they're playing for the
Who's
team.
the best?
Who's
Who's the best player? Yeah, just rank them.
I think KP definitely has to
I
be
agree.
number one.
No, Derrick White's number 1.
No, okay. Derrick White is good in the Celtics because he fits their system so well. Like you saw him on the Spurs. He literally did nothing on the Spurs
I think
until they traded him.
I think KP is the most important part. After we traded Robert Williams, we needed a rebounder. Or not we actually, I'm not a Celtics fan, but the Celtics needed a rebounder, and KP can do both sides. He can play defense and he can score points.
Elite rim protection, elite
Elite rim
height.
protection.
All 4 of those guys can play both ends, though.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
that's the best part about the Celtics is that they're efficient on both sides, which is not something we see in any of the teams. Like with Sixers, we see more better offense, less defense. Same with Suns, like we see better offense, less defense. But the Celtics are a complete good all around.
Both sides are
Yeah.
part of their culture.
I think like also for Celtics, their spacing is just like elite because I think all 5 guys are like very good 3-point shooters. I think
Yeah, you also can't ignore like how good they're coaching. Like
Yeah.
Drummond's
Yeah,
yeah.
he's figured it out.
Yeah.
Want to talk about the Suns?
I put Derrick White.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about the
Yeah,
Suns.
that's
I'm not.
So
really-
real quick, I'll answer my own question. I agree with you. I think Derrick White is the second best player on the Celtics. Then I would have Porzingis. Then I would have Jaylen Brown, and then I would have Drew Holiday. And that's not a slight to Drew Holiday, but I'm all in
It's
on
kinda
Derrick
crazy
White.
how- yeah, because right, like before
So good.
this season, like Tatum and Brown were definitely like the 1-2 punch. But
Right.
like as you just said, like now we're considering like Derrick White, KP, Drew to be on that same tier as
Well,
Jaylen.
I think in terms of talent, sure.
Right,
But
right, but like
in terms of their
contributions.
goals and how, like,
In
how
terms
well
of their contributions, it's insane how they literally just picked up like 3 other people that are contributing to the amount that Jaylen Brown is contributing to the team. It's insane. Yeah,
I was watching that Lakers game real quick. Last thing on the Celtics, like I was watching that Lakers Christmas Day game, and all the guys were in. In the fourth quarter, they would put Jaylen Brown in the corner, and he wouldn't touch the ball. And I know this because I bet on his points, but don't worry about it. Literally, like they ran the offense through Tatum and Derrick White, and then they would have Porzingis setting screens, high post stuff, right? Like they
There's so
trust
many options.
Derrick White with the ball more than Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, it's kind
I
of
think that
unbearable
says a
how
lot.
many different game plans they have. Exactly. It's
Yeah.
It's so versatile.
Yep.
yeah. Okay. I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank y'all for watching, and see you in the next one.
Thank you so much.
See ya.